Alright, so today we are going to continue our mount series by going over escaping the mount. Now, the very simple concept of today is everything I'm going to show you is absolutely not rocket science. Very simple, very basic techniques. The problem is they're all very hard to execute because you're in a very disadvantageous position. You are mounted. There's only one spot that might be considered worse than that, and that's the back. And that's preferential. It's worse. If they're better in one position or the other, that's the worst position. So, today is all about doing simple things right. So, a couple things we're going to start with whenever you're in mount. One, getting your elbows in. I like to call it the Home Alone defense. For those of us who are close to my age, when Kevin put the aftershave on and he got his hands real tight, his elbows here, and he goes, ah! That's what we're trying to get to. Is hands close to our chin, elbows in. Because anytime we start getting our arm extended away from us, bad things start to happen. Americanas, head and arm chokes, arm bars, bad things are going to continue from that point. So we're going to get to that Home Alone defense. Then we're going to pick a side. For me, I always like to have my right hand on top. So I'm going to hit just a real simple bump and trim, trying to get to that left hip. Alright? I'm not just getting onto my hip, I'm getting on my ribs and that shoulder, trying to keep everything in as tight as I can. Now, as soon as we hit that little bump here, boom, I have to be ready to try to trap this ankle. Easiest way to do that is in two parts. One, my bottom leg is going to go flat on the mat, and I'm going to look to drive that knee underneath his shin. While I'm doing that, I'm going to look to scoop it with my top leg. So how it looks kind of from the beginning, we end up in mount. I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. Boom, I get to the side, drive that foot under, scoop over. This is only to get that 3/4 mount, which if you think, oh, I got 3/4 mount, nothing bad can happen. Almost more bad things can happen. So, as soon as you get here, you have to get that elbow to the inside of the knee. You're going to look to push and rake that bottom leg underneath here. So I'm here. And bump and get to that side. Ride that bottom leg and scoop. As soon as we're here, I'm going to continue scooping and pushing that leg to get back into that half guard. Get him back in front of him. The goal is to create that space without giving away one of my limbs. Alright? Time before I ask for questions. I'm here. Boom. I bump and I get to that side. Drive that foot. Scoop with the ankle. As soon as you get here, you're looking to scoop this back. I use my hand to help, and I drive this knee. Keep driving it under until it comes all the way on top of his thigh. As soon as it does that, we start turning back into him, getting back to that standard half guard. Not mounted position is what we're looking for. Questions on that? You're like, Dustin, that's really simple. Yeah, it's really simple until a guy's on top of you trying to choke you while you do it. Alright? So, questions on this?
I assume you're going to cover. Depends on the arm bar when you push the leg.
Yeah. Okay. Chad's asking, just for those. But
I didn't want to do it this way.
So as soon as I'm here, you're talking about this arm bar here. Yeah, I'm not as worried about that arm bar here, only because the second I trap this foot, if I can start getting, as long as that arm's in, I'm not as worried about it. But yeah, that's pretty standard operating procedure there. Other questions? After the leg trap, so we're here. Boom. I get here. As soon as I get this leg here, all we're looking to do is push that leg back and drive this knee up. Because the second this clears his knee, you've gotten yourself at least out of complete, not everything you do is now dangerous. Like boom, now I can start turning my hips, facing him, facing your problems. Because remember, Kat, in life and jiu-jitsu, when you face your problems, it works out better. But questions? Use that. Right. Drill it out. 1, 2, 3. All right. Questions on the problems you ran into on this? Because how many of you felt like that was pretty simple when I showed it, right? And then you started doing it and you're like, hey, that's a little bit harder than it looks at times, right? So what questions did we have there?
So I don't feel like his leg's always there to scoop. Like
Yeah. So biggest thing you'll notice if you're like, hey, his leg's not where I want it to be when I scoop is, when you get here and you hit that bump, use that elbow to that knee point. So I like to go point of my elbow to the point of his knee, and I like to use that to kind of kick it to where I need it to be. Because unless he's really scooting up high mount, like if he's way up here, yeah, you're going to be jammed up, and that's going to be a pain in the ass to start escaping. That's a different series, right? But if he's, you know, relatively mid-mount or low-mount, just that little bit of an elbow push will give you what you need there if you're starting to struggle with that. So don't be afraid to kind of connect that knee to that, or that elbow to the knee there, and start using that. Create your frames. You don't want to get to where you're really pushing that too far, but using that elbow connection will let you kind of have the leverage. Carson, did you have a question?
I mean, it'll just be one where I have to actually walk through it.
Other questions on this? All right, we're going to go over the next one. So this next one's kind of a big move, but if you can get it to work, it's a great one. So when I'm here, other point, order of operations is very important in this one. I'm going to look to put my feet as close to my butt as I can, right? I'll walk my feet tight to my butt. I'm then going to, almost like a wrestler, bridge up on my head and neck as high as I can. As soon as my head or my hips hit that peak point, I'm going to lock my arms into the bottom of his hips. So I'm here, bop, here. Wee, right? Like he's a little kid, I'm going to hold him up there. As soon as my hips drop, I'm going to drive my knees straight through his crouch. Hopefully not racking him, but it's a jiu-jitsu motion, so it's his fault if you do. So I go bop, here. Can work really quickly as a nice one, especially nice no-gi, because even if you don't get both knees in, you can get some slip and slide action going and just kind of get your hips moving. So we're here. I'm moving. Let's say I try this one and it doesn't work. Okay, I don't like what's happening here. I walk my feet up. Bridge, pop. You're not trying to bench press him off you. I swear to God, I watch one of you do that. I'm gonna hit Evan right in the face. All right, it is not this, because I'll watch 3 of you do this, especially you big strong guys. You'll all try to do this and try to bench someone off you. My arms don't extend until my hips move. I just leave my arms behind. Here. And I'm not just pushing him up, I'm kind of trying to toss him over my knees. Like you've ever tried to throw like a bag of mulch over a fence? That's what you're looking for. It's kind of that motion here. Bop. Ideal world, you land in full butterfly guard. Great, wonderful, all good things happen in your life, right? About half the time you're going to land in half butterfly guard, which great. What that means is you got more work to do. So I'm here, I bump, I lift, boom, and you're going to end up somewhere around here, which is fine. You have a half guard hook, you have a nice insert, you can work from here. Not always ideal, but neither is life. All right, questions on this one?
Are you trying to compress your body before you walk?
Yes, I'm trying to have everything real tight here. So that's why I walk my feet in to have them tight to my butt, because that allows that bridge to drive him up to where he's here. As soon as he's here, all I do is drop my hips out. All I have to do is hold his weight for about a half a second. So that way, as soon as my butt touches, I shift him back just that little bit and my knees come in. You're not trying to bench him off you. That's not the plan. Trust me, I couldn't bench Evan off me. If you ever want to watch an unimpressive lift by me, go watch me bench press. Promise you. How many of you think I can bench 2 plates? You'd all be wrong.
No one's on the side.
Yep. Not that strong. So, as soon as I drive here, my hips drop out, knees come in, and I'm just trying to kind of set him over my hips, his hips over my knees. All right? Questions? Carson.
Do you have like really good pressure or anything? Is there any other like details or anything different you would do?
Sometimes you got to bump him forward first. So you'll see if I catch Austin where he's kind of sitting up real tall here, that makes this really tough. So sometimes I'll bump my feet forward. And even if I grab his belt or kind of get a little grip here, I'll then here. Like if he's sitting real tall, that can sometimes make it a little bit harder. I like this one especially if you got a guy who's trying to choke you a lot. So like a lot of guys will start kind of getting invested into your collars and things like that. I really like this here because you can get something in their way and their hands are preoccupied, which means they're not trying to go for your arms. That's why I like this one a lot, especially guys who have collar chokes. Like a lot of them will start feeding for that cross collar or any of the fun chokes you can get from mount. It's just an easy counter because their hands are preoccupied. Or if you can get them to kind of base their hands for a second with quick bump, makes it easier. Other questions?
I think I've gone with people that I try to get this position going and they start taking it away from me. Is there something I can do to keep that? Or
Be better at jiu-jitsu would be my first. No, I'm just kidding. So, big thing is like when I get here, what a lot of people are going to try to do to block this is they're going to cross their feet. Which if they start crossing their feet, all you have to do is step on them. So I like to just start walking here and stepping on their feet. So that'll be how most people try to counter this. If they do, just step on them. Life's not fun.
I don't have a mouthpiece.
What if they like grapevine your
Boom. So, same thing. They start trying to grapevine legs out. So they're here. A lot of people will make the mistake to thinking this is wrestling and that this is a good positional choice. Really not. If they do grapevine you here, all you have to do is break one side and roll. Like, realize that grapevining in jiu-jitsu, long term, not a great position. Now, I start bucking and moving, and Austin wants to lock it in for just a second to kind of, hey, settle down there, cowboy. That's fine. But if someone's like locking in grapevine and holding it out, it's because they don't know what the hell they're doing. It's just not something you should do long term. So all you have to do is basically, it's almost like a limp arm out. Kind of kick your foot out. Stomp. Find one of their feet. Boom, one feet up. Get them there. And this one's nice because I come in as soon as I come into that butterfly, I'm attacking that reverse arm lock. Because I don't like people, Matt. Especially white belts. But are they people? That's the question. All right. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm here with Mr. Steers. I'm here, and once again, I can't let him sit back here because if he's sitting back like this, he's got too good of a base. Even as bad as Austin's base is at times, he's still got a good base if he sits through like this, right? So I can't let him do that. So once again, I'm going to bump, but I'm going to bump with a side in mind. Whatever side I'm going to, I'm going to look to try to trap that arm as soon as I bump here. So I bump, Austin starts to come forward, boom, I'm going to look to trap. Boom. I'm going to look to connect my elbow to his elbow. Bop. Because that's naturally where his arm wants to bend, so that's where you want to attack things. And I'm going to look to lock my hands on that side hip. So this hand comes around, boom, that far side hip. One of the mistakes I see a lot of us make is our lock's either in the middle or even worse on the far side. I want it on that near side hip. Once we're here, I'm going to step over that ankle as hard as I can. I'm going to post my back foot as close to my butt as I can get it. Now, when I bridge and roll here, big mistake a lot of us make is we go this way. We have to go this way. So I'm here and bridge. Looking to keep that arm trapped and then work from there. So I'm here. Boom. I don't like what Austin's doing. Boom. I pop. Trap. And I look to connect at the elbow and trap here. Cheating my lock to that same side. Foot comes over. Foot comes tight. Bridge and roll. Once you're here, I like to just sprawl and look to pass. Because you already have that body lock pass that you can start basically as soon as you hit that.
Remember you said that. Now remember you said
Questions on this? Really?
That position, I can foresee, I don't know, black belt instructor of some kind.
Yeah.
Reaching for a head and arm choke. Is the way to uppercut that is to just hurry up and go as soon as
Yeah, this is not one where you realize that whenever you're trying to get out of mount, you have a sense of urgency from the time you go from, okay, I'm just hanging out to go. There's no, oh, I can just, you know, sometimes we talk about, okay, here's a good position to really cinch in or do this. Or, it is go. You done fucked up, AA Ron. You shouldn't be in mount. You got to get out of here as fast as you can without leaving something behind. That's the goal here. All right? Other questions on this?
Did you have both feet over his side foot that he went over?
1 foot. So I'm here. If I'm here with Austin, boom, I trap, lock, post over, heel. If you trap the ankle, great. If not, great. All that does is help him from not being able to post there. But even if I'm here and he scoots up a little higher, I'm just still. Sprawl, step over, pass, all that fun stuff.
What does that score if you get that step over in the side?
You won't score because it'll be considered a reversal on the sweep, where I disagree with that wholeheartedly, but that should be 2 and then 3, but generally you'll just get the 3. Other questions? Trailer out. Uno mas, you said? Uno mas. Oh, everyone was ready too. I liked it. Like it. All y'all were ready for me. So boom, I'm here. I like this one, especially if I can get him to post a hand. Boom. Trap. Here. I keep this hand tight to the hip. His hand comes over. Post. Tight to the butt. Roll over his shoulder. Like I said, I'm looking to pass as soon as I hit top. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm here with Mr. Steers, and we're going to discuss this option, knowing that it's not my favorite, it's not one I recommend, but it is an option. Therefore, we have to discuss it. Sometimes in life, you just got to give up your back. It happens. It's not what I recommend, but certain people suck up when they have your back. And sometimes that's a better option than letting them have mount, right? So, boom, I'm here. Still gonna get to that home alone defense, but Austin's gonna be pretty skilled here. So boom, I instantly wanna pick that side, but let's say instead of trying to, kind of like in that first one where we were trying to drag here, all we're going to do is just fully commit to that, but I need to make sure this top knee hits and lands so that I can come up here. Our goal is to just get to here. Now, if you get here, boom, you can start working to clear those hips and come out, but you are just giving up your back. All right? For those of you in MMA, not what I recommend, because they're just going to start hitting you from the back. Like it just, the problems continue. In jiu-jitsu, it's a little bit safer to give up your back just because there are more options as far as escape-wise sometimes. But we're here, I bump, roll, boom. As soon as you get here, you're trying to keep their hooks out. Because if you can get to this position, there's a lot more options. But, once again, you still are just giving up your back. You are trading bad position for bad position. And depending on your skill sets, bad position for worse position. Not my favorite. Not something I encourage you to do, but something I have to make you aware of. James, I see the peculiar look on your face.
Oh, no, I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking what I would do.
Like I said, it's not ideal, guys. I'm not sitting here telling you this is the, end-all be-all of back escapes. I'd prefer any of the front 3 to this. But, tactically sometimes, especially like if you're in a point situation, and let's say, Austin has just now started to secure this, and I get, boom, here. Now he doesn't get points. Now I can start to work out from there, work up. Good. Sometimes in life, life's tough. Some cat.
Mr. Broken ankle.
Alright, questions on that?
I have a question. You do where you turn your back and you step back and push out. You do that.
Yeah. So, from here, what you're looking to do to try to keep his hooks out is when you go to turn here, you're looking to bring your knees up with your elbows. But the problem is, he's going to have your back here, so it's not going to be easy, and he's going to be looking to have that. If he does get a hook in, kick your leg out, grab your knee in. Boom. Then you can start working from there.
So I know wrestling, your elbows, you always have to hit.
Yes.
Is that something you go for?
You can. If you feel their weight coming forward with that, you have to realize, though, people aren't afraid to go to their back here. So that's the difference. In wrestling, the threat is if they're too high there, I'm going to pull you under to your back. You got to realize that's not a threat to me in jiu-jitsu anymore. So it does, yes, it,
As a way to get them off.
yeah, it can work to get them off. Yes.
Left hand, you roll under that right hand.
All right, try it out a couple times, then we're going to do some situational live. 1, 2, 3.